morning, everybody, and welcome to another Sunday morning vlog.
Good morning, friends, and welcome to October.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's still hot here in Las Vegas.
Over 100 every single day.
I think we're going to go right from summer right into winter because fall is not happening.
Not happening.
Not happening at all. Today, we are going down to the Strip. We are going to show you a casino that is my favorite.
And one that we have never done on our channel in almost 4 years.
And I'll tell you why. I think it means so much to us that we didn't want to screw it up, you know?
I think that's exactly right. But you know what? Timing is everything. And the one we're talking about literally changed hands this week.
That's
Perfect
right.
Timing.
It's the Tropicana Hotel, and they are going to be Bally's here. In fact, they are Bally's now. They've already changed over just a couple of days ago. Now, during this video, we've got a lot of information about Tropicana, but I want you to stick around to the end because we got a very, very special featurette for you, right?
We do, and it's all about the Las Vegas Showgirl. Do not miss it.
All right, get ready because this adventure starts right now.
Here we are yet again, bright and early in the morning at that famous corner we visited just a couple weeks ago, Las Vegas Boulevard and Tropicana Avenue. You're already familiar with the iconic resorts on this corner, and we have featured all of them on our channel except this one. The Tropicana sits on a generous 35 acres on the southeast corner, and it literally changed hands just a few days ago, sold to Bally's Corporation out of Rhode Island. So our timing could not be more perfect to explore it. Then, now, and what it might be tomorrow. By the way, a huge shout out to these raised pedestrian bridges that connect the resorts and save us from dodging the traffic down at street level.
Well, here I am in front of one of my favorite casinos of all time, the Tropicana. We're here getting ready to go in and film it. We don't know what's going to happen to it. We don't know if they're going to tear it down. We don't know if they're going to change the name, although we've heard a lot of rumors going around, but we have nothing substantial to go by it. But let me just say something, my friends. I'm standing on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Tropicana Avenue. I've got MGM in front of me. I have New York over there. I have Luxor over there. I'm going to get a little misty. When I first came here, I auditioned in this place for the Folies Bergère. I knew I wasn't going to get it, but I was young. I was, naive, excited to be here. So I did audition for it. I didn't get it, obviously, but I did play in the little lounge that was in here. And this place will always have good memories for me. Also, I brought Paula and our son here to stay just because I love the place so much. So get ready because we're going inside now. Let's go check out the Tropicana.
Today's Tropicana is a sleek, bright white resort modeling the South Beach lifestyle, but it didn't always look like this. When it opened in April of 1957, do the math, that was 65 years ago, it had a Cuban theme, a low profile, and a $15 million price tag. Out front was a tulip-inspired sculpture fountain 60 feet tall, set in a circular reflection pool. As unique and eye-catching as it was, the fountain only lasted until the late 70s and was demolished for a remodel. Let's take a look at this vintage map. In its early years, the Trop was down at the far south end of the Strip, surrounded by lots of desert. In 1961, the Tropicana Country Club opened across the street on 125 acres. In 1990, it closed and the land was sold to, guess who, MGM to build the Green Monster. The original 300-room Tropicana was billed as the Tiffany's of the Strip because of its elegance. In the 1970s and 1980s, the Tiffany Tower and Island Tower were both added, both over 20 floors and bringing the room total to just under 1,500. We snapped this photo from across Tropicana Avenue in 1997. Note the gorgeous gardens in front, and off to the right, a waterfall. Today, the front lawn is astroturf and there isn't a blossom to be found. And that waterfall? It's just a rock face now. I don't know about you, but I think it might have lost a little curb appeal along the way. What do you think? Tropicana does have a garage, but for convenience, today we are parking around back. For a 2-hour slot, we paid $5.35 to parking.com. Back here, you can see what remains of the garden rooms. When the Trop was renovated in 2011 to the South Beach theme, the other 2 garden wings were demolished. So, what's happening now? As we mentioned earlier, the sale to Bally's has just been finalized, and the new owners are saying the Tropicana Las Vegas is going to be their flagship property in the western region. Rumor has it, though, that it will be likely renamed to Bally's, and any major overhaul may not happen until 2024. As we step inside the vestibule, we're met with a striking bamboo design on the wall. Take the short escalator from the street level up to the casino to what the Trop labels as the north entrance. The casino floor is a compact 50,000 square feet and definitely has a breezy tropical feel. The South Beach renovation, completed back in 2011, cost $165 million and outfitted the public areas and guest rooms with plantation shutters, potted palms, and an orange and tan color palette. In here, you will find more than 650 of your favorite slots. Now, if you are actually coming into the Tropicana from the Strip, you are again greeted by bamboo, this time in vibrant red. And immediately to your right is the obligatory gift and sundry shop. That big redo a decade ago or so added white marble tile on the walkways and cool white furniture at the tables. But they never touched this. The 4,000 square foot Tiffany-inspired stained glass ceiling was installed here in 1979 and was estimated to be worth $1 million at the time. It's breathtaking, and we can't imagine the Tropicana tables area without it. The Trop lobby and check-in area are just next to the Strip entrance. It is a simply decorated space with a wall treatment suggesting ocean waves. Even the stanchions and this creamy couch have wave-like forms. Speaking of waves, make your way down a side walkway from the casino to access the Tropicana pool deck. Or, if you're like us and have always stayed in the garden rooms, take this hallway to the side entrance for a bit of nostalgia. Step down to ground level and you're met with a sweep of grass and towering palms that have probably been here since day one. Now here's a fun fact: locals can access the pool area free any time. The old garden rooms, just 3 floors high and each equipped with its own balcony, are now labeled Bungalow Deluxe rooms on the website. These were always our go-to when we used to stay at the Trop. This charming corner is available for an outdoor wedding. And over here is a little tropical lagoon complete with waterfall. Lots of imitation volcanic rocks give you that South Seas island vibe. And finally, here's the pool. Tropicana's main pool is a long, meandering, irregular shape bisected by the walkway from the upstairs mezzanine. All around the edges are lots of options for drying off and soaking up in the sun, some free and some for a fee. And there's a convenient bar for grabbing a fruity cocktail or a cold brew. And if you swim under the building, the original swim-up blackjack tables are still here. This is truly a throwback to the heyday of Las Vegas. As I said, Paula Scott and I used to treat ourselves to a stay at the Tropicana several times back in the 1990s. The pool itself isn't much different, although there isn't a waterfall anymore. But back then, the grounds featured huge colorful flower borders, giving it a much more tropical feel. During our visit this week, though, we could barely find a flower anywhere on the property. Plus, who remembers when there were flamingos and peacocks here? The best way to appreciate the entire pool deck, the shape of the pool itself, the cabanas and seating areas is from up here on the mezzanine level. It's absolutely beautiful, don't you think? So lush and well cared for, and it's really set off by those bright white bungalow rooms along the perimeter. One more thing worth mentioning. Back in 2016, the Sky Beach Club opened here at the Tropicana. It's a huge South Beach-inspired adults-only pool area with live music, DJs, celebrity hosts, and open on the weekends. Looks like today it's having a bit of maintenance work done. Now, about that mezzanine. It is accessed from the casino via a short escalator. Down there is the box office for the resort shows. We'll be talking about those in just a bit. A couple of attractions to note down this long hallway. The spa, called Glow, is about halfway down on the right. And a little further on, just visible through all the trees and foliage, is the Island Wedding Chapel. It was just recently redone to have a modern tropical feel and seats 100. Also at the mezzanine level is the Oakville Steakhouse, or, as the website describes it, a Tuscan grill. We like the curb appeal of this place. You can choose to sit on the patio, in the elegant dining room, or even a relaxed bar area. The menu features char-grilled steaks, pasta dishes, sides, and desserts. Plus, there's an award-winning wine list of more than 100 labels. Back in 2017, celebrity chef Robert Irvine opened a pub on the Tropicana's main floor called Public House. If you're coming over from the MGM Grand side, you've got an entrance that takes you inside and down the escalator right to it. The place is almost 9,000 square feet with a huge restaurant, a wraparound bar, and a bunch of cozy seating areas around the edges if you're just here for a drink. At Public House, you can expect to dine on comfort foods inspired by Irvine's culinary travels around the world. Next to Public House is Red Lotus Asian Kitchen, offering unique twists on Asian cuisine for lunch or dinner. According to my memory, there has always been a lounge in this spot. In fact, it was more than 20 years ago we saw famed saxophone showman Sam Butera perform right here. Today, it's called the Trago Lounge, with a dark, elegant interior, gaming at the bar, and a liquor selection that is world-class. Stop by after a show to watch the Raiders game or take a turn at the mic on karaoke night. Now, this showroom has some history. This is the Legends and Concert Theater with seating for around 1,200, and man, is it busy. The Trop runs 3 popular shows an evening, back to back to back. Up first, MJ Live, recreating the excitement of a Michael Jackson concert. Legends in Concert, the longest-running show on the Strip, starring Frank Marino and his divas. And Purple Rain, A Prince tribute that landed here in 2017 rounds out the evening's entertainment. Now, who remembers the showroom in a past incarnation as the Superstar and/or the Tiffany Theater? From 1959 to 2009, just shy of 50 years, the Tropicana was home to the Folies Bergère, and much of that tenure was in this room. Stay tuned. We'll be talking more about the Follies in just a minute. Upstairs on the mezzanine level is the Trop's equally busy comedy showroom, The Laugh Factory. In 2022, it is celebrating 10 years of featuring big-name stand-up comics in 2 shows a night, along with special engagements by famed impressionist Rich Little and magician Murray Sawchuck. This venue also had a previous life. It was known as the Comedy Stop for almost 20 years, from 1990 to 2009.
So much of the Tropicana's history is synonymous with the Folies Bergère, a production show imported directly from Paris that enjoyed a record-setting half-century run here in Las Vegas. Dale and I are incredibly fortunate to have among our YouTube community a former Follies showgirl from the 1970s, Kathleen Manley, who has generously shared her stories, memories, and photos with us. Kathleen appeared in 3 major production shows on the Strip: The Follies, Hallelujah Hollywood at MGM, and Lido de Paris at the Stardust. This is Kathleen in a promo shot for the Trop. Early on, from the 1960s to mid-70s, the Follies had its own showroom in this area where the box office and escalators live today. It had a traditional semicircular showroom layout, and that stage actually made a cameo in the 1964 Elvis classic Viva Las Vegas. I love this picture. Kathleen joined the company in 1972 and has shared some precious performance photos with us from that long-gone theater. She's a knockout, and that grand staircase is a showstopper. Now, this is interesting. The finale featured carousels that came down from the ceiling and the showgirls riding them through balloons into the audience. Fun fact, a former Follies dancer who later worked security found those carousels still above the ceiling decades later. They are likely there even now. The Las Vegas Showgirl is an important part of our town's history, and to honor that history, a permanent exhibit was established in 2016 at the Nevada State Museum. The idea to rescue the costumes from the Follies and other production shows came from guest museum curator Karan Feder, who convinced Trop management to donate the entire lot, 8 tractor-trailer loads. Karan reported that the entire wardrobe collection, from headwear to shoes, was all being stored in plastic bags stashed in unused rooms at the hotel. And now we have the Showgirl Wall. This exhibit pays homage to the significance of cabaret-style productions like the Follies and Jubilee to Las Vegas, as well as the evolution of performance costume. Kathleen and other former showgirls were invited to see the costumes as the exhibit was being put together. We will share a link to this YouTube video in the description box. The stagewear is known as cabaret costume, a style that focuses on the veiling and unveiling of the female form. The feathers and furs, fishnets and fans, gloves, rhinestones, sequins, this is truly wearable art. And everyone, both males and females, wore something that we would call a thong that was usually jeweled to match the rest of the costume and was meant to emphasize the attractiveness of the leg. The exhibit features a number of the elaborate headdresses worn in the production shows. And I had to ask, how on earth did the ladies keep them on their heads? Per Kathleen, there is an elastic chin strap that you really don't notice, and a strap at the back of the head that holds them on. Before they were rescued, a lot of these headdresses were given by the Tropicana to their high rollers as souvenirs. Fun fact, headdresses, backpacks, G-strings, jewelry, many of these items were welded and soldered with metal and very heavy. You have to admire the strength of these performers to carry that weight and yet dance so gracefully.
Well, what did you think about that? I'll tell you what, thank you, Kathleen, for giving us that information, for helping us out with this segment. We absolutely had a ball putting it together. And guess what? Kathleen is also a history buff, just like Paul and I, and she's written a couple books.
She has. They're actually available on Amazon. She has written some books about the history of Yorktown in her beloved home state of Virginia. Excellent stuff. And by the way, speaking of books, Karan Feder also wrote a book about her experience with the costume collection. That's on Amazon.
I believe you can find that on Amazon as well. Yeah, absolutely. All right. This was kind of exciting. We told you a little bit about what's happening at the Tropicana, as much as we know for right now. But I really think that Showgirl thing just came out great, didn't it?
I loved doing it, and I love the conversations with Kathleen and the photos that we're passing back and forth. This really was, this week, this was a labor of love.
It really was. All right, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification button. Anything else you want to tell these nice people? Paula.
Actually, I do have one more thing. We picked up this copy of the program at the Gambler's General Store. What a find.
Yeah.
Especially because we knew we were going to be doing this project at some point. So Maggie White was a principal in the Follies during the 70s when Kathleen was also a showgirl and dancer. And Kathleen was telling me some stories about Maggie White. She is British, very stately, the almost 6 feet tall, just the epitome of a showgirl in terms of her look, her figure, everything about her. But Kathleen said that she was so down to earth. She would come into rehearsal, you know, with the headdresses and the costumes and the whole thing, and she would always be chewing gum, and she would get scolded, "Maggie, get that gum out of your mouth." I love hearing how just human all these big stars are. Anyway, it was a fun story. Thank you, Kathleen, for sharing all that great stuff with us.
All right, my friends. Hope you had a good time. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.